quick hits. There is one stock, LinkedIn, that Scott and I have talked about. We talk about IPOs a lot because I do follow them over at the street. LinkedIn had a really rough start as an IPO. Now Zillow went public last week, had a phenomenal first day, and I think LinkedIn, is picking up on some of this activity with these internet IPOs.
Well, this is why I'm a trader. This whole sector really is lost on me. So I'm going to stick with the charts because my whole perspective on this whole LinkedIn social media thing is neither here nor there. But that's why I'm a trader, and I do respect.
So don't friend you.
Don't friend me. I don't even know what to do with it, to be quite honest. LinkedIn, post IPO, nothing but sellers, and just like that, the rubber band springs back the other way, and now it's nothing but buyers. Trading back to as high as 110 as of about a week and a half ago. Short-term pullback, we saw a pullback into the mid-90s, but that pullback was bought on Thursday and Friday. I think this stock needs more time. I wouldn't be a buyer here. I wouldn't be shorting it. I probably would be on the sidelines waiting for a little bit more data, maybe a longer-term base to build up here. If this stock wants to go higher, I think it's going to need more time to build this base. Let the market truly dictate that they love this stock, and it's not just a a volatile,
playing stock
trade. Yeah, just more for the day trader.
All right, let's go into VMware. Scott and I talked about these cloud computing stocks last week. What does that one look like to you?
Looks great. Post earnings, a little extended. We saw the earnings announcement. The stock sold off on earnings into this rising MA, which has acted as support. You can look back in time. You can see how it's holding the short-term moving average. Thursday and Friday saw a little bit of buying. Now, it might need some more time. This was some pretty heavy selling that we saw, but I like this space. I like this stock. It acts well. It has for a long time. If we look out and we look at a larger term weekly chart, get a better perspective overall, this stock says to me it could potentially go higher. I'd wait maybe a week or two, give it some time to consolidate, to get the gains that it's had, but VMware in this space looks great.
All right, let's move on to Microsoft. Now we're putting the word value and Microsoft in the same sentence. Who would have thought that? It was once upon a time the Apple and the Google of the traders. Not so much anymore.
Well, every stock has its day, and Mr. Softy had its day too. Lately, Mr. Softy, as I call it, nice move. Can't argue with that. Some money flow back into Microsoft. Acted very well the last couple of weeks with the tech stocks. Remember, this is a driver here. It's not the force that it used to be. Probably won't be for a very, very long time. But we do have to respect the stock. The earnings were good. The street liked it. Didn't have a huge move. Wasn't really a ton of enthusiasm behind that, as most of the earnings were probably built in as the stock went from 24 to 27.5, then announced. Didn't really do much after earnings, but I like Microsoft. I think it could see higher. I think we could see a move back to the $30 area, back to these prior highs with some time. Looks good.
All right, we've talked about oil, we've talked about tech. Let's talk about ag. Let's get into Mosaic.
Ag stocks, let's talk about it. Mosaic here, nice move. Just lost my tool here. Nice move on Friday. A little bit extended here short term. I would wait for a pullback here. A little bit of a head and shoulders pattern for those that are really looking for chart patterns. This could give us a trade roughly this distance. Let's see, it broke out on Thursday, Friday. Looks to me like we could see a move back to that 80, 85. I would keep stops tight here for the trade in the high 60s, 67, 68. Really don't want to see a break below this prior pivot right here. That to me looks like a good trade if you can buy a little bit of short-term weakness.
All right. Las Vegas Sands. We talked about casino stocks last week. They have actually been performing pretty well. We've heard that room rates at Las Vegas have gone up 22%. That's a good sign for us here in the States. Macau is just crazy. I guess all the Greeks took their money out of the banks and they went to Macau to go gambling or something, because there's a lot of gambling going on in Macau. But let's talk about Las Vegas Sands.
Well, these casino stocks have acted great. They've acted great for a long time. They came back from the dead. It wasn't too long ago that LVS was, I think, $1 or $2 in price. Now it's back to close to 50. Since October, it has pulled back. We can see here on the chart. We peaked. We had that peak high at 55, and we saw that, and we basically have pulled back. Looks like a little bit of a breakout here late last week and over the last 5-6 trading sessions. Let's take a look at the daily. I know Scott's been talking about LVS for a while. Really nice trade through this trend line. from the low 40s, now trading around 46. And LVS to me looks like it has the potential to go higher. Short-term resistance back here around 50 bucks. So depending on your risk-reward scenario, I would look to be a buyer of LVS on any short-term weakness for a trade back to 50.
All right. Well.